Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. September 24th, 1924. Dhamma of Peace Series, number 24. Observation on head shaving ceremony. Caka-Panccaka Kamathana. Many people became at first as novices and then fully ordained monks at the time of Buddha to practice what Buddha taught and follow him. To do that, the first thing they had to do was to have a head shaving ceremony. A previously ordained monk or monks would shave the hair on the head and beard, fine hair on the necks and faces, and then the nails of fingers and toes of the would-be ordained person. Once a person is ordained, and as long as they were in the robes, they were required to keep all hairs and nails clean and tidy. In some cases, they do it independently, and in other cases, they must shave each other's heads. So that is the head shaving ceremony one is required to perform if you want to become an ordained monk. On such occasion, the Buddha taught them to reflect on 32 internal and external body parts. Of course, including the rough hairs and fine hairs, fingers and toenails, teeth, skin, because they are the obvious parts that one discarded or discarding or in the process of discarding. It's called the observation on the foulness of the body by observing the 32 internal external parts. People are attached to the hairs and nails on their bodies. If the hair is on your head and it is on your fingers and toes, you are attached to it. Because they identify these with self or I. Automatically, they identify with self or I because it is on their bodies in which they have full awareness of knowing, seeing, able to touch. They identify these with I. Like I have thick hairs, gorgeous hair. I have a fine, delicate nails. My teeth are white. They are like a row of pearls, shining. My skins are smooth and lovely, free with wrinkles, etc., etc., etc. That's how one identifies these when they were on the body, because of the concept of I or atta, self. But let's look further on. However, once the hairs and nails are cut off from the body, they are on the ground, on a sheet of paper or something. Suddenly one wants to do nothing with them. Not only wanting to do nothing with them, they want to quickly throw it away. Oh, they are dirty, full of germs or this or that and so on. So it is the body. It is the identification of I that one is attached to it. But when it is not on the body, you don't want to do anything with them. That's a case in point. At that time, one must reflect on the repulsive and foul nature of these discarded body parts and some which still remain on the body part. That they are not mine. They are not a being. They are not an individual. They are not a person. In other words, they are not me or I or self. One reflects that way for what reason? To get a sense of urgency. A sense of urgency. As long as one is identifying with the I, you don't have a sense of urgency. When the identification of I is dropped, suddenly there's a sense of urgency. Then they must intently and mindfully, first is just reflection, thinking, to drill it in your brain intellectually. Second stage is they should intently and mindfully observe the 32 parts of the body to know their true nature or ultimate reality. Let's see, you still have some long nails on your fingers. You stare at them, you observe them, you come face to face with it, you touch them, and if you observe them intently and mindfully, you know that they are simply substance, matter, rupa. You know that they are hard, earth element. And then if you press them, there's no pain. You know the specific characteristics of what nail is. And then at that moment, there's no nail, there's no eye, only that it's the hardness of the nail. That is the ultimate reality of matter. Just this is an example to observe. You can observe at the hair on your head and the hair on the ground and the water dripping the face along, unpleasant feeling, and so on and so forth. Whatever is arising at that moment, you observe intently and seriously and precisely with mindfulness. That is how Buddha taught us to observe when we are taking a head shaving ceremony to become a novice monk or to become a fully ordained monk. It seems like quite a simple thing, not that important. At some point. But no, at the times of Buddha, it has been all recorded. Some people who are ordained, head shaving ceremony to become an ordained monk, they were observing these 32 parts intently and mindfully. And while they are observing that, they haven't even become the fully ordained monk yet. And they are observing and they are observing, and at that time, full part wisdoms and full phala wisdom, mega jnana, phala jnana, part wisdom or fruition wisdom. They go through all these 8 stages while they are observing it, and then they became arhat. And of course, right after that, they took the road. So there are some people even attain arhatship by observing the foulness of the 32 parts of the body with precise mindfulness. So don't take this lightly. It has produced a huge benefit. These are in the scriptures recorded at the time of Buddha. During our lifetime, this lifetime, and also many, many lifetimes in the past, we have an uncountable number of consciousness arises and pass away, arise and pass away. Many types of consciousness, they repeat it again and again based on a condition till to the moment once become an arhat. That's what's happening. But during those periods till you become an arhat, there are only full part consciousness occurs. Other consciousness will arise and pass away, arise and up, pass away, repeated many times, the same thing. But part consciousness arises only 4 times. And even 4 times is one for each stage of noble person. The first stream winner, at that time 1 part consciousness. Once returner, there's another part consciousness. Non-returner, there's another part consciousness. And then arahata, 1 part consciousness. Only 4 times. They never repeat. And each time, each part consciousness, or you can also say each part wisdom, one and the same. When you have the part consciousness, you have the wisdom. That's why it's also called part wisdom, part consciousness. It is one and the same. Different words are used. Each part wisdom lasts more than billions of a second. That's all. The period that they arises and pass away is shorter than the billions of a second. Again, at each time of each noble person stage. However, these part consciousness or part wisdoms are so powerful, so powerful, they can eradicate or eliminate corresponding mental defilements. What does it mean by corresponding mental defilements? As a stream winner, they eradicate a certain type of mental defilements. That's it. Such as wrong views, such as non-self, doubt, having doubt, in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha is no more. There's no doubt in karma. Such kind of mental defilements are eradicated at the first stage of a noble person, the stream winner. And then the second stage, noble person, eliminate a certain. Third stage, eliminate all sense desires and ill will. But still, they still cling on to have attachment to existence. And only when one's become arhat, all 10 mental defilements are totally uprooted, eliminated, and extinguished. That's what it means by it eliminates a certain parts of mental defilement corresponding to each stage of noble attainment. So only at arhat status abandon all 10 mental defilements and then attain liberation from the rounds of rebirth. In other words, escape the samsara. Of course, that arahant, till he passed away this life, he still have this body to bear. In other words, they attain the supreme peace with the body remaining, and after they passed away, there's no more rebirth. At that time, they attain the total liberation with no bodies remaining, rupa remaining. So, path wisdom or mega jnana, path wisdom or mega jnana eradicates and eliminates all mental defilements and leads straight to supreme peace. In other words, nibbana. It leads directly straight there, no detour, nothing. For a stream winner, there's a maximum of 7 existent, maybe a lot shorter if one tries hard. To realize this supreme peace, nibbana, or total liberation, one must be heedful, appamada, heedful in all the waking moments till one's come to the point of maturity. By doing what? By practicing Satipatthana Vipassana, mindfulness and insight meditation taught by the Buddha. One must be constantly mindful of all waking hours. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, every moment without gap. And if one can accomplish that, one attain the path wisdom of an arhat. After this path wisdom or mega jnana, fruition wisdoms or the bliss automatically follows. Path wisdom is the cause, fruition wisdom is the effect. So, fruition wisdom is the effect of the path wisdom, cause and effect. However, enjoying this bliss on demand whenever you wished it, requires 1 or 2 weeks of training so that you master that you can go into that bliss at will at any time you wish. Ariyas, noble person, dwell in this fruition bliss in Pali called Phala Sampatti. They dwell in that bliss when they have no work to do or to perform for others. At that time they stay in that peace. But as long as they have something to do for the benefit of others, they'll be working and doing and working and doing and so on. So that is called path wisdom and fruition wisdom. At the final level, once become arhat, eliminating and abandoning all kilesa. So don't underestimate, this is all just a simple head shaving ceremony for to become a novice monk or a monk. A lot of Buddhist family introduce their children to become a novice monk or a monk. At that time they have to go through it. If one is very intent and mindful at that time, maybe one can become a Satipatthana in this very life. May all of you be able to practice mindfulness insight meditation, including in the state of head shaving ceremony, and attain insight, vipassana insight, the true nature of mind and matter in this life, and attain nibbana as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.